This is part 2 of the Running with Rifles modding tutorial. This will be covering editing character models and weapon models in the Voxel editor. Animations will be on a different video. Now, to do any sort of editing with the Voxel editor, or for on the Voxels or animations, you're going to need the Voxel editor for the game. The Voxel editor can be found on the Running with Rifles forums, posted in the news section, but I will post a link to it in the description of this video. There's quite a few little instructions and such on the actual web page on how to use it, but I'll cover some things actually as I'm going along in the video. Once you go and download the editor itself, though, you're going to want to put it somewhere. I personally have a place on my desktop for it, and my recommendation is to put it somewhere, unless you're computer savvy and are familiar with how to go and make spaces work in the command prompt, as the command prompt is how you go and get into the editor. One of the ways to get it editor. Anyhow, as you just saw there, type in CMD on your Windows search bar, and you'll see command prompt cmd.exe. Now, to get into the Running with Rifles editor, once you have it in, as I said, you want to have it in a place that's easy to get at. I've got it in C users bow and desktop on Running with Rifles _mods /models /editor. First, you'll want to get to the directory. So, what you do is you type in the cd command and copy the directory and hit right click and hit paste. You cannot do Control V on here, otherwise it'll end up like this. Then hit enter. Now it should say this instead of just user's name. Once you have that, you type in rwr editor.exe, and we'll be editing the Soldier Alpha 1 model. Go into your Running with Rifles Media Packages Vanilla Models folder, and you'll find all of the models for the game. There's a number of different file types, but what we're interested for is the XMLs. All the mesh and material and everything files, they are for actual 3D models, like for the vehicles and for the buildings and other terrain features. We're looking at XMLs because the weapons in the character models are actually made out of voxels, and this is what the voxel editor is for. So grab Soldier Alpha 1.xml and the AK-74, which is Assault Rifle 1, because the AK was one of the first weapons in the game, and at the time PASIC just called them Assault Rifle 1 and Assault Rifle 2, as there was literally only two weapons in the game, the G36 and AK. So once you have that, you type in Soldier A1.xml and hit enter. You're going to see this pop up. Just hit OK. You don't have to mess with anything on there. And you're going to see the Green's character model. Now, probably your first instinct is to hit maximize window. Don't do that, otherwise this happens. And we're going to hit edit voxels. And let's try placing something here. Works perfectly fine. Let's try placing something right there. Why is this happening? Weird, huh? Well, it won't. Anything passed over the normal area doesn't work. Also, be careful when you're messing with anything for the windows you just saw there. If you're messing with any voxels, it likes to go a bit crazy, and you sometimes will, if you're changing tabs, you are very, very likely to accidentally add a lot of voxels or recolor a lot of voxels. Now, edit is left click and right click, add or remove voxels. Though I do believe I have deboot set up to show my left or right mouse if it's being used. Picking a color is how you go and change the colors. First, you have to go and you click on a specific color. It's like that paint the feature in Paint and a few other editing tools where I can't remember this, it's a turkey baster, and it just grabs whatever color you click on. But to actually edit a color, you click this button. Then if you run it over a color while holding down left mouse button, it will change that color. I'm going to go and fix that though. So for any sort of character model you're changing, say you wanted to add some more camouflage to the green. Now I'm not very good at making camouflage stuff. Most of the things I've been doing are complete reskins. I've been working in a stalker mod for a while, and that requires freedom to have some rather elaborate camo schemes, and I've not really been satisfied at all. But so what you do is you can kind of mess around with these red, blue, green things. Unfortunately, you don't get to see these exact numbers, so it's sometimes going to be a bit of a guesswork. Like if you find a color that you want on some other program, when you actually look into the XML file, though, it will show the colors. So you can do all sorts of things with editing. Like with the zombie mod, I've actually got it where like one of the characters, he's missing quite a bit of his leg there. Actually, and come to think of it, I'm actually going to make, say, some sort of zombie-like character model. So I'm going to change this back. What I'm going to want is a bit of a reddish color for this. And because these zombies, actually no, I'm going to go maybe a bit brighter. Maybe brighter. Maybe too bright. There we go. Because they're zombies, we're just going to assume maybe he's eating on a few people. I like to not have everything reddish, just to get a bit more variance. As you can see there that I actually added some colors and such already then. We're going to think of a way to bloody him up, add a bit of a wound per se to make it justify that this guy is a zombie. I've already done one character where I believe it's his right leg, it's this leg here that's missing, so let's go and get a little bit of a bite out of this leg. So we're going to remove a number of voxels from his leg, and don't worry, as long as you don't remove too many voxels, generally speaking, the character models still work. Now a lot of the voxel models actually do have space in them, where this space is like that to make the game not have to render as much, because all of these little voxels have to be rendered. So while they're voxels, they're not really doing too much. It's still space. I need to find that color again I had. I think it was red greens. There we go. And of course, as you just saw there, again, I'm tossing colors around unintentionally. I want to get this color a bit not as flesh colory-ish, but that's too fleshy. I think that might work. And then we're going to choose our blood color, spread it all around. Could be a bit very, very liberal with the application of this red. Again, this is just me doing some stuff with the zombie mod. I'll actually probably toss this in my zombie mod stuff since that's going to make green anyhow. But this is just really a demonstration on what to do stuff, or how to do things with modding character models. I'll get to weapon modeling in a bit as well. I like to just add a bit of red to those zombie models to make them adamant. Turn the hands red, because assume if he's got red on his face, he's probably got a bit of red on his or blood on his hands and whatnot. Of course, there's this yellow spot always. Oh, I guess I got it on that side. For model making, specifically for coloring, that's usually it's somewhat tedious due to the amount of time you have to spend on individual models and such. Just kind of spreading red around to make it obvious. Maybe a bit more red in there because it looks a bit too clean around that wound. Yeah, we'll get rid of that red, or that model color right there. We're going to fill that out a bit just because. Add a bit back there too. There you go. Looks nice and clean. Well, as clean as a blood wound. A nice open wound would look. So, this guy is torn up pretty bad. Let's add a bit of blood in his other leg, just because. So this would essentially be a zombie model for me already. That's pretty much all the edits I've done on the models like that, but it changes quite a bit. Other people have done pretty much like World War II style uniforms. There's even a World War I mod out there, and so people have done some really, really amazing model work, and this is just kind of a demonstration on just how to do stuff. I'll get to animations a bit later. That's pretty important. That's where stuff with the skeleton starts coming into play and whatnot. I'm going to save this. So Soldier A1 is there. Then we go to Assault Rifle 1. Now here's an alternative way to mess with things. Now I didn't show that one first because this one, this sometimes will happen. I'm not sure exactly why that will happen, but it does. So in that case, I can't show it that way. But if you just literally drag and drop, drag and drop it on there, it will either crash the game, crash the editor, or work. I think sometimes, no, it's sort of random what does work, what doesn't. I thought it might be something with admin access, but I have no idea really. I did forget about this. The assault rifle this is a weird file. Actually, come to think of it. I know what it is. I forgot to add the one that has no voxels in it because it's, there we go. Yeah, make sure you get everything right, otherwise I'll just load one voxel. So here's our assault rifle. Now, this is the AK-47. This is like a wooden stock version. Let's make our, since this is going to be an AK-74, let's make it more of that greenish color that you see in Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl. Which, of course, my mod for a Stalker style is going to have that. And this is just some minor changes. I mean, not really, you don't really need to be that consistent with the color. Oh, here's the even better color. There we go. It's exactly the sort of color you want. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. The AK-47. It's got some stuff on the other side. Props to Comjack, by the way, for making an updated model of this. He made actually better models of a lot of the weapons existing in the game, and in fact, he makes a lot of the models for the game now. He's a pretty good modeler, and so perhaps, not sure if he'll do this. He might be willing, but he's kind of busy with school and whatnot. Is if you really, really need a model, and you perhaps want to wait a while, or probably get chewed out by him, perhaps ask Comjack about making a model for you. He's better at it than I am. I'm better at just kind of randomly recoloring stuff. I mean, I don't really say I'm better. I'm just kind of, I know about it. But he is a much, much better model maker than I am. So if you ever really need any help with something, he might be the one to really go to. So here's this new retextured AK-74 model. essentially. Or let's shave some size off this magazine just because it's going to be a smaller cartridge. There we go. So there's that. Now we have our model. We're going to go back to our mod and add that new model in. So we're going to need to make a models folder in there and toss the model in there and rename this file AK74 model, and then go into the weapons, AK74, and go rename it the same. I'm just going to rename it AK74 because it doesn't need to be model. There we go. Oh crap, yeah, I forgot about that. Unfortunately, because of Windows, I have to move it over here. There you go. I love user account control sometimes. Then we're also going to add our character in there. Now, because this is an overlay, we don't have to do anything, and this character is something that's already in the game. We literally have to do nothing. We can just start the game right now as green. And or we don't even have to start a screen. I mean, we can just kind of I'm going to cancel the game real quick. I'm just going to show something real quick for faction modding. I'm going to go over this more in the other tutorials. We're going to change green real quick and remove all of these from the list. There you go. Oh yeah, crap, I'm gonna do this again. But we're gonna basically what we're gonna do real quick is just make it so the game only recognizes the green 1 model. And we can just get Alpha 2 and Alpha 3, and we'll just keep the vested one so we know there's vests on them. There we go. I suppose, really, I just realized, since I hadn't looked at the faction stuff recently, with those models being there specifically when a player has a weapon, or not a specific weapon, a specific vest on them, one could make it so if you go and create a you could create a model that has, say, an anti-tank launcher effect on some guy's back. So if he has an AT launcher on him, he'll have an anti-tank launcher on his back. That would look a bit weird when he actually has the AT launcher out, but it would make you know a bigger threat of someone. It would look neater when you know someone in your squad has an AT launcher or so. Or maybe you could make it where if someone's got a machine gun, they've got an ammo belt on them. So as you can see here, the zombie model. I'm going to start as the Graysdale, just to get that crate. Okay, we're over here. There you go, and there's our AK-74. It's got the model. Oh, come back here, truck. Let's see if rank has its uses. And so you already saw that stuff, but I'm just going to go over there and drive anyways. Get this truck. And one thing I will go over in another tutorial is vehicle editing. Yeah, one thing that's, I personally think a lot of the vanilla vehicles are a bit slow or handle sluggishly, and one thing I do is I change that a bit. Like one thing for sure that has been fun to mess with is increasing the speed of, I'm a horrible driver right now, increasing the speed of the boat. Another thing I've done as a kind of a joke test was I made the patrol boats shoot 300 projectiles out of the missile launcher at once. I also made one where it shot 10,000 projectiles out at once, but it lagged the game so much that it didn't show anything until after you saw all the explosions on the ground. Now you can hear a lot of the guys using the AK-74 because it's more common. Alright, again, as I said, here's all the greens. They all have that. Wow, they just came out pretty large. Crazy. The greens all have that model unless they've got that vest on, which none of them here do. Now, I'm not really familiar with how to edit the UI, so I'll probably take a while for me to go and do a UI image tutorial. That's the stuff to do with image editing, and I am just not a very good image editor. I'll probably go and ask someone else for help on that part. Anyhow, this will be the end of this specific tutorial video. Oh, perfect. Right when I die, too. So, I hope this helped. If you have any questions, again, leave them in the comments in the video or in the forum. And I'll see you next time.